Shalom, 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 Israel. First off, giving all honor and praises to the Most High and His Son Yahushua. Shabbat shalom to brothers and sisters that's watching online. Happy Sabbath to brothers and sisters bringing in the Sabbath. The name of today's class is God's Judgment on the Earth. God's Judgment on the Earth. And I'll be stepping in for Brother Benaniyah tonight. But I know we're just going to kind of go into this class today. I was saying, I know brothers and sisters seeing the judgments that the Most High God is bringing on the earth. If not, brothers and sisters got to learn to be in tune with those things. Shalom, Brother Ehud, man. Shalom, Giannis, Yariah. Brothers and sisters have to watch these things as well. We're seeing what he just did with even Edomite Queen Elizabeth. Hey, like we say, all praise to the Most High. That's one of the judgments of the Most High. And a lot of times we got brothers and sisters that are Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans boo-hooing, crying. I mean, what the hell did Queen Elizabeth do for you, man? I mean, come on, man. What did she do for us, man? Not a damn thing. Shalom, Sister Elaine. Shalom, Brother King. What did she do for us, man? I mean, come on, man. Our people have to learn to wake up. Shalom, Sister Mary Houston. Shalom, Brother Yaakov. What did she do? You know, so this is part of the judgments. And brothers and sisters that have been in the truth for a number of years, we know what the hell is going on. If brothers and sisters don't know what the hell is going on, you have to learn to check your spirit. Most High God is constantly telling us to watch and to pray. Meaning, watch for the things that's going on in the news, but more importantly, watch for the things that's going on in the scriptures. So I know we kind of want to cover some of these things as well, even bringing judgment in Israel for brothers and sisters that's going on, that's in the truth, that's in sin. Brothers and sisters have to learn to shake those spirits, man, and bounce back, man. Take the correction, man, and move forward with those things, man. First precept we're going to go to the book of Psalms. Just putting some things together. We'll go to the book of Psalms, chapter 96 and verse 13. Psalms is a heavy book written by King David. A lot of precepts in here for brothers that teach out there on the streets. Brothers need to constantly go over and watch these things as well. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 96 and verse 13. Before the Lord, for he cometh to judge the earth. He shall judge the world with righteousness and the people with his truth. So the Most High God is letting us know when he is coming to judge the earth. When our people are seeing earthquakes, our people are seeing these floods, and our people are seeing all these weather patterns and so forth, that's the Most High God judging the earth. We've been seeing it with the Bath and Body Works CEO. I'm talking about jump down off a damn building, killed himself. Hey, that's the Most High God working on the planet Earth, man. Judging the people. Now, it's unknown if he's an Israelite. You know, we've been hearing that he's a Venezuelan, but we know a lot of times Esau have populated that place, and if you're in positions of power, more than likely he may be an Edomite, but it's unsure. So don't quote me on that. But we see the Most High God bringing judgments on the earth. I know the brothers asked, do you believe Christ was the regeneration of Adam? Yeah, and when you go to 1 Corinthians, in some aspects, I know brothers constantly looking into that, brother, you know. But even in 1 Corinthians, it said that he was the second Adam. Shalom, Brother Alexander Martin. But the Most High God is constantly bringing judgment, whether he do it through the weather, whether he do it through the powers that be, the principalities that be, meaning going into the spirits, putting spirits on brothers and sisters. Shalom, Brother Ray. The Most High God is doing these things, man. And brothers and sisters have to learn to check their spirits so they don't get in the way of the Most High God's judgment. I'm going to read this again. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 96 and verse 13. Before the Lord, for he cometh to judge the earth. So we see these things on the planet Earth. He shall judge the world with righteousness. What is righteousness? His laws, statutes, and commandments. So always a shout out to brothers and sisters that are in Christianity. If they're teaching that the laws are done away with, how is God going to judge us? His laws stand forever. It says He shall judge the world with righteousness, according to Deuteronomy 7:25, and the people with this truth. And we know what the truth is according to the Bible. The truth is what? Psalms 119, verse 142, going into his laws. So that's how we see the Most High God judging the earth. Because I know a lot of times they want to sing and sob for Queen Elizabeth, but you don't know how many people she probably done killed to have how many so-called transplant. Probably millions of or thousands or hundreds of Israelite babies coming up missing all the damn time, man. They probably just taking their organs. A lot of times we don't understand it, and now people boo-hooing and crying, man. And I love the little meme that he Brother Rezatok showed going into Stephen off of Django. You got some coon brothers and sisters that's out there crying because she's gone, man. That's because they don't understand who they are, man. She's an Edomite, man. One of the high-level Edomites at that, man. Shalom, 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 Brother Donovan. All praise to the Most High. Shalom, Brother Yaquah. So, hey, this is the judgments, and we want to make sure that we don't get in the way of God's judgment. Let's go to Psalms chapter 98 and verse 9. Start at verse 9. Before the Lord, for he cometh to judge the earth with righteousness. He shall judge the world and the people with equity. So we constantly see these things. Shalom, Brother Barakaya. So we constantly see the Most High God bringing judgments on the earth, whether it be in the form of weather, whether it be in the form of animals, whether it be financially, whether it be emotionally, mentally, or spiritually. The Most High God is doing these things, man. Let me get a precept real quick. We bring this out all the time, man. Go to the book of Sirach. One of my favorite precepts. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine. Well, these are the things that we're seeing. We're seeing famines on the planet Earth, man. We're seeing a lot of the stores going into your Walmarts, your Kroger's. You're seeing a lot of things that's not being on the shelves, even in some of these Family Dollars and Dollar Generals. You're seeing a lot of these things not being on the shelves anymore, man. Israel, the Most High God is bringing judgments on the earth. We need to constantly do what? Be preparing ourselves for these things, man. Making sure you're getting your spirit in a line. It says, in the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. So we see the Most High God uses these things as weapons on the planet Earth. That's why you're seeing, even of our people, Most High God is not playing the games. You're seeing police shootings. A lot of these things go unreported because now they got to hide it because now everybody got a camera phone. But guess what? These judgments are constantly coming out because our people do what? Break the commandments. And it's judgment that's got to be brought out. Now, we hear a lot of times in Christianity, well, you can't judge me. Only God can judge me. Now, do you really want the Most High God judging you? I mean, stop playing the games. Y'all thinking y'all want the judgment of the Most High God because y'all got SIBO in y'all mind. SIBO is a term we call Sezer Bozier. That's who y'all thinking is judging y'all. Y'all thinking he gonna give y'all candy canes and passing out flowers and so forth. But that's not going to be. I know, Brother JT, but that's not the case here. I know Ak was asking, what's going on, brother? How can you become a battle axe? I used to work with you at L'Oreal. My name Josh. That's crazy. That's crazy. I just came into the realization I'm an Israelite. I'm looking for a group. Just reach out to us. I know our numbers in the description, Brother Josh. I would like to hear from you because I'm trying to remember who you are. I know I just talked to a couple of brothers at L'Oreal, and I know one of the brothers, Yamir, and I know another brother. We used to talk a lot. I forgot his name though. So yeah, make sure you reach out to us, man, and if you can, try to come to Sabbath class tomorrow. So you want to make sure that you reach out because knowing you coming into the realization of you knowing about the truth, this is some of the most important times of your life. You know, this is where you want to come into the congregation and make sure you get on a good foundation and a good setting. And you have to do that by gathering and applying the commandments. So yeah, most definitely reach out to us. I'd like to hear from you, brother. But going back to this is the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 29. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. So we seeing that the Most High God is bringing these things out on the earth because he's using them as weapons. Shalom, shalom, sis. He's using them as weapons. And we want to make sure that, guess what, we're in the right standings with the Most High God, or else we're going to catch those judgments right along with him. You know, hey, judgment starts at the house of Israel first, man. Let's get that. A lot of times our people thinking you're going to escape because you're an Israelite. Hey, you being an Israelite don't mean a damn thing if you're not keeping the commandments, man. We just going to speak frankly here, man. You got brothers that know about the truth out here doing classes, and niggas is in sin, man. And Negroes don't care, man. That's a damn shame, man. And that thing flexes my damn spirit. Brothers going to be judged for that thing too, man. You better stop playing the games from the Most High. Thinking brothers can run away from judgment, man. Judgment gonna follow you wherever you go. I don't give a damn if you leave a camp, man. That judgment is gonna follow you if you out of order, man. Like, stop playing the games here. Let's go to the book of 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. Judgment is gonna follow your behind. You keep playing with the Lord, man, and you're gonna see what's going to happen, man. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. For the time is come that the judgment must begin at the house of God. Who is the house of God? The house of God is going into the nation of Israel. We are the house of God. Everybody is not a house of God, man. And we challenge any Christians to put anything on the comment board or give us a scripture that show otherwise. It says, and if it first begin at us, meaning the Israelites, what shall the end of them that obey not the gospel of God? So if the judgment is going to first start at Israel, what is going to be for them that obey not the judgments, that obey not the gospels, man? For you other Israelites, or the 2/3 of Israel, man, that's not going to make it. I mean, come on, man, we got to stop playing the games here. If he's going to judge us first harshly, also going into the 2/3 and also going into the heathen, what do you think he's going to do to the other nations? We've seen it already. I mean, come on, man. Queen Elizabeth, she was already 96 years old. Who give a damn, man? I mean, really, man. We got our people that's out here suffering. And guess what? Our people worried about people that don't give a damn about them, man. That's judgment from the Most High God. So we got to understand that, guess what? We don't want to make sure that, guess what? We catch the judgments of the Most High God first, man. Because he's the one that's doing these things. A lot of times people don't understand the Most High God is the one that's killing and making people alive. Let's get that precept real quick, man. A lot of people don't even understand these things, man. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 39. And it reads, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hands. So we know ultimately, guess what? That judgment came from the Most High God, man. He gave the word out, and guess what? Took that spirit, man. And guess what? We have to be in total compliance with those things. A lot of times our people suffer from those things because they don't understand the judgments of the Most High God. A lot of times all you have to do is go into the Bible and read these things, man. Read these things, apply the commandments, and he'll give you more understanding about these things so that you're not lost. That's why the Most High God got many Israelite camps raising up, teaching the truth about who the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans is according to the Bible. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 110 and verse 6. Is that what I want? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 110 and verse 6. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. And that's what we done seen. Shalom, 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 brothers that's coming in. He shall fill the places with dead bodies going into the heathens. Because guess what? These are not our people. Stop trying to, guess what, lump everybody into Israel. Israel is the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. That's it. And brothers that's allowing these heathens to come in amongst them, that is totally going off, man. I'm going to read this again. He shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries. Guess what? She was a so-called head over that country, and the Most High God wounded her head. Meaning what? He took her spirit away. I mean, plain as day. And it's going to be a lot of more spirits that get taken off the planet Earth as well, man. And if brothers not praying for the destruction of these other nations, man, you have to check your spirit, man. Like we said, we got to come out totally of Christianity, man. Thinking that our enemies are everybody. No, it's talking about the enemies of the other nations. Those are the ones that we don't forgive, but you forgive the ones of your own people when you read in the scriptures. Matter of fact, let's get that. What you got in verse 6? Let's get this precept real quick. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 18 and verse 2. I'll start at verse 1. This is the book of Luke, chapter 18 and verse 1. And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought to always pray and not to faint. And this is something that brothers and sisters have to make sure that they're doing on a day-to-day basis. If you know you got certain spirits on you, if you know that you're struggling with certain type of things that you cannot shake, certain type of sins you cannot shake, it's your job to constantly always pray and don't faint. A lot of times brothers get comfortable or get complacent in the truth. You take the time off, you get lackadaisical in this truth, and guess what? You invite spirits to jump on you. Brothers and sisters that are not diligently coming to class, not diligently applying the commandments, not diligently seeking counsel, guess what? You invoking and inviting those spirits to come into you, man. It's our job to constantly be praying. Verse 2, saying, there was in a city a judge which feared not God, neither regarded man. And there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, avenge me of mine adversaries. And he would not for a time. But afterwards he said within himself, though I fear not God, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, at least by her continual coming, she weary me. And the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge said. And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? So the Most High God is saying that, guess what? We have to pray for vengeance, man. He is going to avenge his elect. And we know who the elect is according to Isaiah chapter 44 and verse 5. We know who the elect. Everybody is not an elect of the Most High God. Verse 9, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, he shall find faith on the earth. So we're doing these things to build up our faith, but we got to make sure that brothers and sisters are constantly praying for the destruction of the other nations. I mean, it profits us nothing to pray for their well-being when they're the ones that's constantly oppressing and destroying us as a nation of people. Even with regentrification, even with certain redistricting laws where they're literally trying to confine us to certain areas in certain cities. And like we said, we don't understand why our people want to be out there with Esau any damn way, man. I mean, them people mean us no good at all, even with the other nations. You know, you don't see too many people coming in Chinatown and so forth, man, or Elam town. I mean, Elam stick with their people. Moab stick with their people. We the only ones that want to, guess what, go and mingle ourselves amongst the other nations. And the Most High God is not with that, man. We know who, like we say, the elect is not all nations, races, kindreds, and tongues. The elect is the Israelites scattered among those nations, man. So it's our job to do what? Constantly pray for judgment and destruction of the other nations. Let's get that in the book of Psalms. That's our job, man. And brothers and sisters, if you're not doing that, man, that means you want to stay in this captivity. Because believe it or not, that's exactly right. Psalms 55 and 15. Believe it or not, guess what? We in captivity. If your behind is paying taxes, guess what? You in captivity, whether you believe that thing or not. Even Christ knew that, man. Let's go to the book of Psalm chapter 137 and verse 7. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 137 and verse 7. And it reads, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom. So we know that, guess what? Queen Elizabeth, she's an Edomite. That's why they call themselves the dukes. You got this duke, you got that duke, because it all goes back to what? The book of Genesis, chapter 36, verse 1 on down. That's why we know Ishmael is not no damn Edomite, man. Guess what? The Caucasians are the Edomites. And if brothers are struggling with that, and brothers been in the truth for a number of years, man, you bug the hell out, man. For real. And guess what? You got something wrong with your spirit, because all the characteristics point to one nation of people, man. That's not hard to be understood. Remember, the scriptures is plain unto the holy, but it's a stumbling block to the wicked. The wicked is going into people that struggle with the understanding of the scriptures, man. Struggle with current events in the world when these things are made plain unto us. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 137 and verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, meaning what? Destroy it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone. So even King David was prophesying a great judgment that was going to come to the hands of the Edomites by the Most High God and his chosen people, man. I mean, that's the judgment that's written, man. So now brothers have to go back to all the characteristics that line up with the Edomites and see what nation of people that is today. And it's not hard to be understood, man. Our people make these things hard. We have to shake that spirit, man, and stop trying to bring everybody into this with us. Let's go to the book of Psalms. Now let's go back to the book of Psalms, chapter 110 and verse, where did I stop at? Verse 6. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 110 and verse 6. He shall judge among the heathen. The heathen is any nation outside of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the biblical Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Yes, that was us with Moses during the time of Egypt, during the Exodus out of Egypt. Yes, those are our same people, man. When brothers and sisters read in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, going into the curses, verses 15 through 68, those curses identify who we are today. Read this again from the top. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 110 and verse 6. He shall judge among the heathen. And we see that going out today. We see these judgments going out more and more. You're seeing a lot of these CEOs, they're giving up their companies. They see things are getting worse and worse. They understand these things, man, better than our people. And we the ones that have the damn scriptures, man. That's why they're trying to do their best to prep. That's why you have shows like Doomsday Preppers, Doomsday Bunkers. They thinking that they're actually going to hide from the judgment of the Most High God. But no, he's going to send the 144,000 get every single last one of them that don't be judged or hit by those thermonuclear missiles. Shalom, Sister Shamitra Younger. Shalom, sis. So no one is going to escape the judgment of the Most High God. It says, he shall judge among the heathen. He shall fill the places with the dead bodies. He shall wound the heads over many countries. And we knowing the heads over many countries, what nation of people is in power? You got Job 9 and 24. I mean, these things are not hard. All you have to do to see who's ruling the planet Earth, take out $1. Take these things out. Brothers talking about Israelites is ruling the planet Earth secretly. Nigga, you got to be out your damn mind, man. Like, stop it, man. We only see one race of people that's ruling the planet Earth, man. And that's the so-called white man, the Edomites that the Bible speaks of. They got all their images plastered everywhere. Their faces is on all the money. They have the most powerful military. You see it all on CNN. You see it all on Fox News. I mean, it's not a mystery, man. It's not a mystery. Now, the mystery is we know that it's more elite Edomites like the Rothschilds and the Bilderbergs and some of the richer families that are out there that are really pulling the plugs. But guess what race they are? They're Edomites too, man. That's even what the word Rothschilds mean, red shield or red child. Come on, man. What nation of people is red on the planet Earth? And they will be judged for those things. Verse 7, he shall drink of the brook in the way, therefore shall he lift up his head. And so we see these nations. What nation of people is constantly lifting up their heads over the Israelites? Constantly a nation of people that are proudful. Just read the book of Obadiah. You know, American proud. Even when we was doing the class, even on the damn tissue box, they had it on there, man. I mean, we constantly see these things, and they will be judged for the things that they have done against God's chosen people, man. Let's go to the book of Second Esdras real quick. Because even Ezra inquired about these things. You know, when he was dealing with the archangel Uriel. Uriel means light bringer, meaning he was bringing understanding to Esdras. Let's see where we want to start. Let's go to the book of Second Esdras chapter 5 verse 31. I want to try to read a lot of this on down. This is the book of Second Esdras chapter 5 and verse 31. Now when I had spoken these things, the angel that came to me the night afore was sent unto me. So this angel that was sent unto him was the archangel Uriel, when you read in the book of Second Esdras chapter 4 verse 32. And he said unto me, hear me, and I will instruct thee. Hearken to the thing that I say, and I shall tell thee more. So Uriel was sent to tell him things and give him understanding about why we were in captivity and to break down the judgments of the Most High God. It reads verse 33. And I said, speak on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, thou art sore troubled in mind for Israel's sake. And that's how all brothers and sisters should be that are in this truth. Our mind should be sore troubled about the atrocities and the oppression that our people face as a nation of people, man. And it pains my heart when we go down there and teach downtown, all the homeless people, all the brothers and sisters that are bugged out of their mind, that are in a state of mental crisis, a state of spiritual crisis, and physically and financially. It should pain your heart to see our people in that type of a state, man. And a lot of times when people don't care, they don't know who they were and they don't know who they are. Our people don't understand how far we have fallen from the glory of the Most High God. Remember, he made us to be the top nation on the planet Earth. But since we broke the commandments, he made us the bottom of the barrel, man. And brothers and sisters, spirit should be sore troubled for that thing, man. And that should make brothers and sisters, it should ignite something in their spirit to make them want to, guess what? Come into this truth and do the work of the Lord, man. Stop worried about positions. Stop worried about he says, she says stuff, man. Come in and do the work of the Lord, man. I mean, that's our job in the nation of Israel. All praise, Brother Mike. Verse 34, verse 33 from the top. And he said, speak on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, thou art sore troubled in mind for Israel's sake. It says, lovest thou that people better than he that made them? So Most High God had to check Ezra in the spirit. And it was a righteous correction. Remember, Ezra was just seeking out these answers because he cared for his people. He wanted to know why we were constantly in a state of captivity, a state of oppression. So the Most High God had to check him through Uriel. You thinking that the Most High God, you think you love Israel more than me? Remember, Negro, I'm the one that created them. So I love them way more than you. So if you're paining, how do you think I feel seeing my people like this? Just like when a father or a mother whip their child. A lot of times they don't want to, but they know that they have to because it's going to help them later on in life. That's what the Most High God is doing. We force the Most High God hand. So guess what? Judgment has to come out. And like we said, judgment and condemning is two different things. When we out there judging our people, judging is going into correcting. Condemning is going into passing judgment. We're not passing judgment or condemning our people to the lake of fire. We're just telling them if they don't correct themselves, that's where they will go. But we're not the ones passing a judgment on those things. That's the Most High God's doing. It's a different, because we hear it all the time, man. You can't judge me. Well, nigga, how the hell you know you're doing wrong then if we don't tell you what the Bible say? I mean, come on, man. Only God can judge me. Man, that's Tupac, man. Our people be bugged out, man. No, the Most High God is the ultimate judge that's going to pass condemnation against you. But guess what? He's sending the prophets out there to do what? To correct our people, man. Verse 34. And he said, no, Lord, but of very grief have I spoken. For my reins pain me every hour, while I labor to comprehend the way of the Most High and to seek out part of his judgment. So this is what Ezra is asking right now. And this is what brothers and sisters need to be asking, man. Shalom, Brother Judah King. To try to find out and try to seek out part of his judgment. Why is this thing going on in the planet Earth? Why is this? And that's where you have to search the scriptures. Because the Most High God gives us insight on why he passes some of the judgment that he passes. We know a lot has to do with what? With sin. Sin is the breaking of God's commandments. That's the number one reason why, guess what, we're being judged on the planet Earth, especially us Israelites. Verse 35. I'm going to read verse 34 again. It says, and I said, no, Lord, but of very grief have I spoken. For my reins pain me every hour while I labor to comprehend the way of the Most High and to seek out part of his judgment. Verse 35, and he said unto me, thou canst not. And I said, wherefore, Lord? Meaning, why can I find out part of your judgment? I'm reading on. Whereunto was I born then? Or why was I in my mother's womb? Salaki. Let me read that again from the top. Verse 35, and he said unto me, thou canst not. And I said, wherefore, Lord? Whereunto was I born then? Or why was not my mother's womb then my grave? So even Ezra is asking, well, why can't I find out some of these judgments? Well, shoot, you just should have killed me from my mother's womb then. If that's the case. Ezra he's saying a lot of things that, guess what, none of us would have the courage to say. Just imagine you got the power of the Most High God, the light of the Most High God in the form of Uriel, the archangel. And he's saying these things, man. Hey, I will be scared as hell to say anything. I just want to listen the whole time. But the Most High God knew and understood the love that Ezra had for his people. So you could say in a little bit, he let some of these things slide. But remember, he checked them on a lot of these things. It says, verse 35 again from the top, and he said unto me, thou canst not. And I said, wherefore, Lord? Whereunto was I born then? Or why was not my mother's womb then my grave? That I might not have seen the travail of Jacob, and the worrisome toll of the stock of Israel. So Ezra was letting them know, like, hey, Lord, you should have just killed me, because I hate to see my people suffer like this. Verse 36, and he said unto me, number me the things that are not yet come. Gather me together the drops that are scattered abroad. Make me the flowers green again that are withered. So just like he told them in chapter 4, like, I'm trying to give you understanding. So to give him understanding, he posed forth hard questions that Ezra could not answer. Verse 37, open me the places that are closed, and bring me forth the winds that are in them are shut up. Show me the image of a voice. Now we know that nobody can do these things but the Most High God. When it says show me the image of a voice, meaning what? You hear somebody talking that you never heard their voice before. Can you picture their face? No, you cannot. Brother may have a Barry White voice. Brother may come out 4 feet 2. Little as hell. You thinking this brother is a big man because he has a deep voice. So this is what he's giving them understanding on. He says, gather me, jump down, verse 37, open me the places that are closed, and bring me forth the winds that in them are shut up. Show me the image of a voice, and then I will declare to thee the thing that thou laborest to know. So Uriel was letting Ezra know, if you can answer me these things, then guess what? I will give you the answer to what you seek. Verse 38, and I said, O Lord that bearest rule, who may know these things? But he that had not his dwellings with men. Meaning only the Most High God know these things, man. Shalom, shalom, sisters. Verse 39, as for me, I am unwise. Meaning what? Ezra had to humble himself, and that's what a lot of times brothers and sisters have to do in this walk. We have to understand that we may not have all the answers. Just come in and learn. Come in, humble your spirit, learn. Get on a good foundation. Then start to, guess what? Maybe ask questions. Maybe assert yourself in certain things. But when you're first coming into the truth, come in and just listen and learn. Don't be coming in trying to seek authority. Don't come in trying to, guess what? Find out how you can be the head Israelite in charge and so forth. Coming in with trickery, trying to see how you can gouge sisters into putting forth your agendas. Don't do those things, man. Come in and humble yourself down in this walk, man. It says, verse 39, as for me, I am unwise. How may I then speak of these things whereof thou askest me? Verse 40, then said he unto me, like as thou canst do none of these things that I have spoken of, even so canst thou not found out my judgment, or in the end the love that I have promised unto my people. So a lot of times we cannot comprehend the judgments that the Most High God is bringing on the earth. We see it all the time, even when you're seeing little children with cerebral palsy. Oh, the little baby, he's handicapped, he has cerebral palsy. You don't know that that baby was probably a demon in the third or fourth generation, man. Causing hell to the Most High God and to some of our people, man. We don't know these things, but the Most High God gives us inklings of it. But to be exact, we don't know. And that's going into some of the heavier things of the scriptures, going into regeneration. So we have to take what the Most High God has given us and see, guess what? The judgment in certain things. Certain things we can see. And we see when little Pookie got put to death. Hey, the neighborhood thug. Hey, you can see a lot of times the Most High God judged him, man. Because if you live by the sword, you're going to die by the sword. So some of the judgments we can find out. Verse 41. It says, and I said, behold, O Lord, yet art thou nigh unto them that be reserved to the end. Or what shall they do that have been before me? Or we that be now? Or they that shall come after us? This is the point, verse 42. And he said unto me, I will liken my judgment unto a ring, like as there is no slackness of the last, even so there is no swiftness of the first. Meaning what? The Most High God is exact and the same in his judgment. Now, if you could picture a ring is the same most rings. I'm just thinking about a gold ring. Even when you think about the image of a gold ring, it has no slackness and swiftness in it. Meaning what? It's all the same size all the way around. That's how the judgments of the Most High God is, what he's doing on the planet Earth. And he's letting us know, guess what? If you righteous, you're going to get the thing that he said. But if you wicked, guess what? You also going to get that as well. Let's jump over. Second Esdras in chapter 7. I'm going to start at 7 and 19. This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 7 and verse 19. And he said unto me, there is no judge above God, and none that had understanding above the highest. I'm going to jump down. Let me see. This is the one I want. Bear with me, brothers and sisters. I'll read verse 20. For there be many that perish in this life because they despise the law of God that is set before them. So even within that, we see why a lot of brothers and sisters perish in this thing. We see that they perish because they despise the laws of God. And we know it's not in the heathens at all to keep God's laws, statutes, and commandments, man. We see that's not in them at all, man. Let's prove that. Let's go to the book of Psalms. Let's say, brothers and sisters, got any questions? Make sure y'all put them in the chat. You know, we kind of fight on multiple fronts with these things, man. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 10 and verse 3. For the wicked boasted of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorred. We know who the wicked is according to Malachi chapter 1 verse 4. The wicked is going into the Edomites. They are the main wicked. Now don't get me wrong. Yes, we have some wicked of our people too. But this is going into the wicked. I'm going to read it again from the top. This is the book of Psalms chapter 10 and verse 3. For the wicked boasted of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorred. Verse 4, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. Meaning what? You thinking Queen Elizabeth thought about the Most High God? Prayed to the Most High God? No. Or was a God-fearing woman? No. No. The scriptures is literally telling us these things, man. And our people boo-hooing and crying. Tally ho, the queen. No, man, get the hell out of here with that stuff, man. Our people need to wake up and understand who they are according to the Bible, man. The Most High God is going to continue to bring these judgments on the planet Earth as well, man. Let's go to the book of, let's go back to Second Esdras chapter 5. So we got to understand the judgment of the Most High God is compared to a ring where it has no slackness or swiftness in it, man. Jump down to verse 43, the book of Second Esdras chapter 5 verse 43. So I answered and said, couldest thou not make those that have been made and be now, and that there are four to come at once? So Ezra, hey, he's trying to get the kingdom. He's speaking on Israel's behalf, trying to, guess what, bring the kingdom sooner. Like, Lord, can you not bring them sooner? Can you not bring the righteous people sooner? And guess what, kill off the wicked people? Verse 45. It says, and I said, as thou hast said unto thy servant, that thou, which givest life to all, hast given life at once to the creature that thou hast created, and the creature buried, even so might now also bear them that be now present at once. So the Most High God is letting us know. Let me jump back up. Verse 43, the book of Second Esdras chapter 5 and verse 43. So I answered and said, couldest thou not make those that have been made and be now, and they that are for to come at once, that thou mightest show thy judgment the sooner? So a lot of times our people, you know, we asking for the judgment of the Most High God, but the brothers and sisters that are asking for these things and praying for them like we should better make damn sure ready that, guess what, you ready to see those things. You better make sure that you have your spirit in check and that you have your spirit disciplined to, guess what, for those judgments that the Most High God is going to bring. Because, hey, if you asking for the judgment of the Most High God and your spirit is not in check or not right, guess what? You're going to be cast out with the rest of them. So you want to make sure that you checking your spirit first. And guess what? You have to do those things by discipline, man. Verse 44. Then answered he me and said, the creature may not haste above the maker. So we are the creature and the Most High God is the maker. We can't tell the Most High God when to bring judgment. Most High God is doing these things so we have an opportunity to do what? To get our spirits right in His truth. Because you may see brothers wax strong in the truth for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. That ninth year you in the truth, you start to lose your flame. You start to dim down. A lot of times brothers trying to rush themselves, like we always say. The truth is not about the fastest. It's about the one that can endure to the end. Remember, this truth is not a sprint. It's a marathon, man. And you have to be in this thing for the long haul, because the Most High God is going to bring certain things on you to make sure that your spirit is in check. And guess what? He's going to bring judgment on brothers and sisters as well. Judgment in the form of correction, to see if you're able to take the correction that He's given certain brothers and sisters. Or you just going to what? Nah, I ain't saying that. I ain't taking the correction. You just going to run away from correction. The Most High God is not dealing with that, brothers and sisters, man. Let's see, bear with me a moment. I'm trying to pull up the messages. I know Ak is asking. Let me see. Let's see if brothers and sisters have any any questions out there. Bring them forward. I'll look on both of them. But we got to understand that, guess what? The judgment is going forth. And the Most High God is constantly watching out for us. And that's what our job is as a nation of people, especially you men that are amongst congregation. It's our job to bring out righteous judgment, man. That's what our job is, man. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. Let's go to the law. Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 18. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 16 and verse 18. Judges and officers shalt thou make in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. So the Most High God is a God of judgment. He's a God of what all about correction and discipline. So he in tunes, guess what? Want us in that same spirit as well. So you got a lot of times brothers and sisters that hate order, especially with the brothers, man. Our people, that's one thing we lack as a nation of people. We lack order and we lack discipline. Why you got to be called a deacon or a bishop? Brother, that's just setting the order up. And we're going by what the law is saying. I'm going to read it again. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates. So that's for you brothers that hate order, that hate setting up governments and so forth, because like we said, this is a righteous rehearsal that we're practicing. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. So the Most High God has this order set up to where we what? Bringing out just judgment. Shalom, sis. Where we bringing out just judgment. And we know what just judgment is. It's going back to the law. You're literally going through situations that come up. Whether a brother is caught in adultery, whether a sister is caught in fornication, whether a brother or sister is caught lying, stealing, smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, smoking black and miles, out of order, whatever it may be, you go into the law and guess what? Bring that correction. Now, depending on what camp you is, guess what? Judgment has to come out, whether a brother or sister suspended for a number of months or for a number of years, man. Like we said, we're doing judgment on a smaller scale. Remember, a lot of the judgments of the Most High God is death, man. So guess what? Now we're giving this grace and this opportunity to guess what? Get these things right. And it's for you brothers that hate order and hate dignities, man. It's our job to get these things back in order, because what you think we're going to be doing in the kingdom? The Most High God is going to be setting up judges, officers, the 144,000, and guess what? Order in the kingdom and order in the government. Now, I know Brother J. Ike was asking, what makes a person an elder, or what are the qualities? One of the things is experience, to be up and coming in this thing. And I'm going to read this. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians. That's a good question. Brothers asking what makes a brother an elder. Now, you got brothers that's calling themselves bishops. Nigga Roll ain't been in the truth 2 damn years, man. Boy, that thing is sad, man. I ain't gonna even lie on that. Bishop, deacon. Brother, you been in the truth how long? 6 months, 2 months. Nigga, you already a deacon. You a bishop. You a captain. Brother, you ain't got no damn experience, man. Brothers got to stop playing with this truth too, man. They just want a damn title just to rule over brothers, man. That's all a lot of times brothers be doing, man. Brothers got to check their damn spirit on that, man. Like, you should be in this thing to guess what? To assert authority over brother. I mean, come on, man. You doing this thing because guess what? It's the right thing to do. The Most High God won't order. Shalom, Brother Jack Tripper. Shalom, man. Glad to see you. Brothers should want order, but you shouldn't abuse those things, man. You know, a lot of times, even when our people get those higher positions, we do what with it? We abuse it. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians. Then I'm going to come back to the other one. Second Corinthians. Bear with me real quick. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, I think. Bear with me. Oh, no. I'm thinking in Salaki, brothers and sisters. I know it's on this side of my Bible in Romans. Romans chapter 5. So even like the brother was asking, what makes a brother an elder, or what are the qualifications to being an elder? This is the book of Romans chapter 5 and verse 3. The book of Romans chapter 5 and verse 3, and not only so, but we glory in tribulation. So one thing is, brother have to glory in his tribulations. Being an elder, being a leader, you have to deal with a number of spirits all the time. And you have to have strength enough to, guess what, overcome those things, do classes, do counsel, and guess what, God, the Most High God's flock. So that's one classification, is dealing with tribulations. Also knowing that tribulation worketh patience. So you also got to have patience with dealing with brothers and sisters when they come into this truth. Everybody may not grasp the truth as you do. It's some brothers that can grasp the truth faster than other brothers. Verse 3, and not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. So these are some of the qualifications for being an elder. You must have experience in this walk, man. You must have experience. Have experience in what? Understanding the scriptures. Have experience in taking counsel. And guess what? Taking correction. These are the experience that you give to brothers and sisters that are new in this truth. Hey, brother, when I came into the truth, guess what? Elder corrected me on this. So now I know how to deal with this particular type of spirit. So now I'm giving you that understanding. Hey, when brothers coming into the truth and automatically putting themselves, brother, 6 months in the truth and you already a deacon, brother, you don't have no experience. You have none at all, man. Experience comes with what? With time, with a number of years. Now, don't get me wrong. Some brothers can grasp the truth very quickly, but that still don't qualify them for being an elder. You got to remember those things too as well, man. So these are some of the qualifications for those things, man. Let's go back to brothers and sisters despising order. Let's go to the book of, bear with me a moment. Bear with me. I won't. Second Peter chapter 2 and verse 10. For brothers and sisters that hate order, why y'all got to be named captains? Why y'all got to have officers? Why everybody just can't be the same? Well, the Most High God is not setting it up like that, and that's the order on which the Most High God, that's part of his judgments that he is bringing, man, to get things in order. This is the book of Second Peter chapter 2 and verse 10. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanness and despise government. Presumptuous are they, self-willed, and are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. And this is the thing, like we say, when brothers and sisters get into the truth, you want to make sure that you don't have these qualities, man. It says despise government. Government is going into order because we need order as a nation of people. That's one thing that we lack. We lack order and we lack discipline. And like we say, we don't want brothers telling brothers what to do, especially that have experience. Like I said, brother, I'm not trying to run your life. I'm just telling you what you're doing wrong according to the Bible. That's it. That's all. It says, presumptuous are they, self-willed. Meaning we have a lot of brothers and sisters that are self-willed in this walk. We need to be willed by the Most High God. Self-will can go into you doing what? Leaning to your own understanding. Doing your own thing could put a spirit of proudness on you. And guess what? That in tune can bring judgment from the Most High God. And you can be judged by God in dealing in these particular type of sins. It says they are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. Now you have certain brothers and sisters that like to murmur amongst the leaders of their congregation. We done dealt with these things before, man. They have to put brothers and sisters out of these things, especially when they're not able to check their spirit, man. And anywhere that you go, these same orders is going to be set up. So we got to make sure that we're not dealing in those particular spirits so we don't be judged by the Most High. I know Sister Garden Vegan, Shalom family, we were supposed to be physically in class today, but I'm starting to think my family's attention. Now, that's the thing too, sister. A lot of times your family, they be the first one to kind of try to stop you from this truth, or the Most High God to use that as an example to see if you're going to still push through and keep the commandments in spite of your family not coming, sis. That's one of the first obstacles that gets in your way when you come into the truth, your family. Your family is the first obstacle. So he's going to deliberately put them in your way to see if you're going to persevere through that in spite of obstacles, man. So you got to push through that thing, sis. That's one of the main things. Like we always tell brothers and sisters, it's not a coincidence that the most things that happen is on Sabbath day. You got something going on. I caught a flat tire. I didn't get enough gas today. My family members. My wife. My children. Hey, y'all got to have that spirit of, I don't give a damn. Guess what? I'm going to Sabbath class, man. And ain't nothing gonna stop me, man. You got to have that mentality, man. And that's something that comes with experience over time and counsel and applying the scriptures. Reading through certain experience that people persevered through. Even with Paul, going through all the perils and dangers that he went through, guess what? He still was doing the work of the Lord. You know? He still was doing that thing, man. And we got to have that mentality, man. Yeah, that's right. Matthew chapter 10, verse 36, Brother Barakai. Yeah, that's right, Brother Uriah. He that loveth father, mother more than me. Brothers is pulling great precepts on these things, man. I know, let's get back to the judgments of the Most High. Like I said, if any brothers and sisters got any other questions out there, we're going to be too long of a class. We just kind of want to touch on some things that's going on, touch on some current events, and make sure that brothers and sisters are staying in tune with what's going on in the world, man. Because whether you believe it or not, these things apply to us. You know, and the things that's going on in the world is because we're not in rulership right now, man. You know, that's basically it. And we're trying to obtain those things, but we obtain it by what? Keeping the commandments. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 39 and verse 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients and be occupied in prophecies. So this is our main goals. You know, it's our job to be occupied in prophecies to see, guess what? How the Most High God is aligning his judgment up. And we seeing earthquakes over there in third world countries, over there in Japan, over there in the Philippines and so forth. We know a lot of times, like we said, we got brothers over there. You know, we know things is catching hell over there. Even over here in America, you know, a lot of times they wash these things down and dumb us down to the things that's going on in this earth. But we can't be ignorant of these things, man. We can't be ignorant of Satan's devices. I'm gonna read this again from the top. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High. That's the starting point. Brothers and sisters got to make sure that they're keeping God's commandments. No, it's just not 10 commandments. It's over 613 commandments. That's what Christianity has taught us. And we said Christianity has nothing to do with the Bible. I know our people have been programmed to think when they open up the Bible that guess what? It's Christianity. It's religion. No, God never gave the Israelites any of those things. He only gave us his laws, statutes, and commandments according to what? Baruch chapter 4, verse 1. So we got to make sure that we're giving our mind to the law and is occupied in the meditation thereof. Meaning what? It's not enough for you to get the laws, statutes, and commandments, read about them, but also meditate on them. We ain't talking about like with Tina Turner. No, we're not talking about that, man. Those invoke spirits on brothers and sisters. When it talks about meditation, meaning you're constantly just thinking about the laws. Meaning what? How can I apply this in a better way? How can I apply this law in a better way? Wearing your fringes, brothers growing your beard, following the dietary laws, not eating shrimp, crab, pork, or lobster, because we know that those things, guess what? Destroy our bodies. That's what the meditation thereof is going into. And is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients. So seeking out the wisdom of all the ancients is going into what did the prophet Samuel do in his time? What did the prophet David do in his time? You know, going through and seeing what David did to get some of the judgments of the Most High God and making sure you don't follow in those footsteps. We know that King David, he slept with a married woman. He took her, then killed off her husband, basically put him on the front lines. So we seeing the judgments that were brought on King David. Guess what? He had one of his sons rape his daughter. Yeah, the son's household was destroyed because guess what? He wasn't walking in the commandments. So we got to understand those judgments, man, and make sure that guess what? We don't fall by the wayside by them. Let me see. See if we get an account of that. Bear with me. First Kings chapter. Let's go to First Kings chapter 15 and verse 3. This is the book of First Kings chapter 15 and verse 3. And he walked in all the sins of his father, which he had done before him, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God as the heart of David his father. Now this is going into Jerubbaal the son of Nebat. It's saying that his heart was not perfect as his heart of King David. But this is the point that we want. The Lord his God as the heart of David his father. Verse 4. Nevertheless, for David's sake did the Lord God give him a lamp in Jerusalem to set up his son after him and to establish Jerusalem. Because David did that which was right in the eyes of the Lord and turned not aside from anything that he commanded him all the days of his life, save only in the matter of Uriah the Hittite. Now we see that, guess what? David was brought judgment because of the matter of Uriah the Hittite, basically taking his wife. So we see that, guess what? When King David did that, he repented to the Most High God, man. Got back up, took the correction, understood that the Most High God was going to judge him by doing what? Killing his firstborn that he had between him and Bathsheba. And guess what? Destroying his household and other things as well, man. There was many things when brothers read in the account of what happened to King David and his household. We'll give an example. This is the book of Second Samuel chapter 12. So verse 14, this is the book of Second Samuel chapter 12 and verse 14. Howbeit, because by this deed thou hast given great occasion to the enemies of the Lord to blaspheme, the child also that is born unto thee shall surely die. So we see these things, man. From him going off in that manner, the Most High God brought evil into his house, man. I'm going to jump up. Verse 9. Wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord, to do evil in his sight? Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thine house, because thou hast despised me, and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife. It says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house, and I will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this son. So we see when we go off and break God's commandments that the Most High God can judge us a lot of times through our family. He can put wicked spirits on your wife. He can put wicked spirits on your husband, on your children, to have your house out of order. So we got to make sure that we understand the judgments of the Most High, because we thinking we can take the judgment, but the Most High God can be judging you through your family. A lot of times we got to understand those things, man, and can't play the games with coming into this truth, man. That's just one example. Let's say we got any questions. Let me check real quick. J. Ike, I know, telling you, make sure I know we keep our phone, our numbers in the description. Make sure y'all reach out, man. We got our phones in the description. So y'all make sure y'all reach out. I know, Brother J. Ike, you supposed to been coming to class a few times. You got to shake that slothful spirit, brother. You got to come on with it, man. Yeah, you got to give up them crawfishes, brother. You got to, man. You got to give those things up. A lot of times those things, the Most High God made those things to clean the rivers and to clean the lakes. And a lot of times when we're taking those things out of the oceans and out of the waters, that's why the waters look that way. Even my son, when we was coming back from Camp 101, we was driving past the Trinity, and it always smells, man. And a lot of times it smells because our people are taking out the animals that clean those things, the catfish, crawfish, even alligator gauze. We shouldn't be eating those things. So that's something you're gonna have to shake, brother. And plus, it brings bad health to you. I'm going back up to see if I missed any questions, man. But yeah, make sure brothers and sisters get in touch with us if they're trying to come to class. Don't be slothful in this thing, man. Because like we said, Most High God can bring you judgment on those things. You trying to take your time and come and do the work in the truth, and guess what? You never really even come. Most High God can give you a slothful spirit, man, if you're not wise in this thing, man. Let me see. I'm amazed they actually playing. You talking about your family, sis? Now, a lot of times, like we say, the Most High God's word don't go out void. It doesn't go out void. I want to get this one real quick. And this is one I know we brought out a few weeks ago, but we bring it back out again. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7 and verse 5. For if you thoroughly amend your ways and your doings, and if ye thoroughly execute judgment between man and his neighbor, if you oppress not the stranger, the fatherless, the widow, and shed not innocent blood in this place, neither walk after other gods to your hurt, then will I cause you to dwell in this place. So this is some of the judgment that the Most High God brought on us because we weren't doing particular things. One of the things that the Most High God wants to see throughout all these camps is thoroughly executing judgment. Meaning what? Thoroughly bringing correction to brothers and sisters that are going off, whether it be the leaders, whether it be soldiers, whether it be members, or whether it be visitors. It's our job to, guess what, to correct brothers and sisters. And like we said, for brothers and sisters that are joining camps or in congregations, this is something that, guess what, you should be expecting. If you're going off, guess what, you should invite correction, as long as it's correction through the scriptures. Now, if brothers lean into their own understanding and not pulling precepts, that's where they're going off at. But if brothers is bringing you the scriptures, breaking it down, making it plain to be understood, you should take that correction, because that correction ultimately is coming from the Most High God. Ultimately. Matter of fact, let's get there. Let's go to the book of Second Esdras, chapter 16. Because like we say, at the end of the day, ultimately, the judgment belongs to the Most High God. This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 16 and verse 67. Behold, God himself is the judge. Fear him. Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall God lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. So we see these things once brothers and sisters leave off sin. Sin is what? Sin is the breaking of God's commandments. So even like we say to brothers and sisters that are in Christianity, if God's laws are done away with, how can we overcome sin? It makes no sense. God is constantly telling us to do what? Overcome our sins, repent for our iniquities, because ultimately he is the judge, meaning he's going to bring judgment and condemnation to you if you're not in order. These things are plain. We just cannot skip thinking we just going to walk through the pearly gates without judgment or without having to do anything, man. That's a figmentation of Christianity, man. And we have to shake that nonsense, man. That's something we're going to have to shake. We have to do something in this walk to obtain that glory, man. Let me say, any other questions out there? Like we say, we seeing the things that's going on. Make sure brothers stay in tune with the current events. Sisters as well. Like we say, making sure brothers and sisters are having a good Sabbath. Making sure that they're applying God's law, statutes, and commandments, man. All praises, sis. All praise, and that's a good thing, especially for the younger ones. It's your job. If children are up under your roof, it's your job to, guess what, make sure that they get this understanding. Don't leave them to TV, to the gangs. Make sure they're doing what? Putting in the work of the Lord, making sure they understand that they must keep the commandments. That's the thing, and that's the job of the parents, mothers and fathers. I know I was saying Hebrews 6:12. Let me say, any questions? Let's say it wasn't going to be a long class. Just kind of want to touch on the judgments that the Most High God is bringing on the earth. We're seeing it in with bad weather. We're seeing the flooding. We're seeing all these things. A lot of times our people want to attribute these things to Mother Nature. That's blasphemy within itself. No, it's Father Nature that's doing these things, man. No such thing as Mother Nature, man. That's a figment of our imagination as well. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 29. Let's see. 29 and verse 6. This is the book of Isaiah 29 and verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. So we see the Most High God even visits the earth in the form of weather, dangerous weather, the tornadoes, the dangerous storms, the flooding. We've seen it being flooded down there in the south. See, the Most High God turn these places up, man. And a lot of times we thinking it's global warming. No, it's the Most High. He's the one that's doing these things, man. But our people don't have no understanding about it. He's the one that's bringing the terrible weather. You seeing West Coast on fire. Even a few years ago, seeing West Coast on fire for a number of months. Then you had the East Coast that was snowed in. Even with Texas, when have we ever seen weather like how we seen a year ago? I mean, it was terrible, man. And that's the Most High God doing judgment on the planet Earth. But a lot of times our people don't understand that this is the judgment of the Lord. Let's get another precept showing that the Most High God controls the weather as well. Let's see what I go to the book of Nahum. This is the book of Nahum, chapter 1 and verse 2. God is jealous, and the Lord revengeth. The Lord revengeth and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord had his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. He rebuketh the sea, and maketh it dry, and drieth up all the rivers. Bashan languisheth, and Carmel and the flower of Lebanon languisheth. Meaning what? The Most High God is turning up things in all over the places. I know just reading about even in what is that? In Iran or in Iraq somewhere, they've been having heavy flooding over there. Heavy flooding. Like we said, the Most High God is turning up these places all over the planet, man. And like we said, these are the judgments of the Most High God. I was putting Psalms 148 and verse 8, Psalms chapter 30, verse 30. Yeah, even the art is literally burning up out here. They want to attribute it to global warming, wherever they want to say. The Most High God is using the angels to, guess what, manipulate the elements out here. That's what we read in the book of Sirach. Yes, he does these things. Like we said, our people have not learned the God of this Bible, and they have not learned the Christ of this Bible. They thinking about some white image in their head. No. The God of this Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is a man of war. And like we said, God is slow to anger. He's great in power. He's a jealous God. Guess what? He takes revenge and vengeance. So never have they taught these things in church like how the Israelites is bringing out the understanding of the scriptures. You won't hear this no other place, man. It's like, I know Yeah, and those are good things to have. There's nothing wrong with that. We also got to have faith in the Most High. Sister Mary, my grandson wanted to know, do we have to pray 3 times a day like King David said in Psalms? Yeah, and that's a good thing. And like we said, that's really just a number. You need to pray as much as you need to, guess what? For the things that you need or to get your spirit in line. Let's get that. That is a good precept, sis. Psalms chapter 55. So I know Sis was asking even about praying. Yes, we need to pray as much as you need to in this walk, man. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse 17. Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. So as many times, like we said, this is really just a number. You need to pray as many times as you need to, guess what, get your spirit in order to keep God's law, statutes, commandments. And the Most High got to give us anything if it's according to his law, statutes, commandments. Niggas ain't praying for no damn S550 and stuff. Now, come on, man. If you don't need it, you ain't needing it. Pray Most High God get you a car that'll get you to and fro from Sabbath class and to keep his high holy days, man. Where they gotta be a hoot rod. Now we know the Most High God blesses some more than others, but you don't want to be praying vain thoughts. Let's get there real quick. Let's go to the book of James. Because a lot of times we pray for things and wonder why we don't get it because we asking for the wrong things. This is the book of James, chapter 3 and verse, y'all have to forgive me, 18, 19, 20, 21. This is the book of James, chapter 3 and verse 19. Like I always mess with brothers and sisters. I know y'all be getting on me with my Bible, but this is a Bible that actually has wear and tear. And like you said, you can tell an Israelite from a Christian. Because you see them Israelite Bibles, boy, they toe up because we constantly use them. So even like this, I can barely see my numbers on my book. Yes, and I do have other Bibles for brothers and sisters, damn it, that's trying to be funny out there. But this is the book of James, chapter 3 and verse 21. Ye ask and receive not, meaning you pray for things and don't receive them because ye ask amiss, meaning you're praying for the wrong things, that you may consume it upon your lust. So a lot of times the Most High God is not giving us the things that we pray for because he know that it might make you worse. You praying for that S550 and guess what? You might get robbed for that thing. People start to see you as the neighborhood man in the hood, and it might take it from you. You're praying for that money. Guess what? It might put a certain type of spirit on you to make you farther worse than you ought to be. So the Most High God is giving us things and that we need in this walk. Pray to the Most High God to give you a disciplined spirit. Pray to the Most High God to fear his judgments. Those are the things that we need to be praying for. And we can never lose sight of those things. Any other questions out there? Yeah, it was a great question. Any questions? Remember, brothers and sisters, we got the Feast of Tabernacles coming up. Even before that, we got the Day of Atonement coming up. The Day of Atonement is going into us fasting for 24 hours, fasting for our sins, asking for forgiveness for brothers and sisters that you may have gotten into it with. Asking the Most High God to forgive us for all those things, man. Like we say, fasting strengthens our spirit in this walk. So brothers and sisters need to make sure that they're preparing for those things. I know the Day of Atonement is on October the 4th, going into October the 4th sunset to October the 5th sunset. Then we got the memorial blowing the trumpets before that, Salakia, on September the 25th. That's at the end of this month, going into a new moon. So brothers and sisters want to make sure that they're preparing for those things. Preparing for the Feast of Tabernacles, to where we go out camping for, it's supposed to be 7 days, but due to captivity, some brothers and sisters be out there for 7 days, but most don't. But we're going to be able to celebrate it 4 days. So you want to make sure that you're preparing yourself for those things, brothers and sisters. Let me see, try to wait. All praises, sis. Like we say, for brothers and sisters that are able to homeschool children, You know, all praise to the Most High. But we know in this captivity, sometimes even if you have a two-parent home, sometimes it takes both parents to work just to provide. So if brothers and sisters are able to do those things, all praise to the Most High. So be instructing them out of the Bible and out of the law. Let me say any other questions. If not, we'll wait a few minutes for brothers and sisters. Like we say, don't be shy in asking questions. That's what this is for, so our people can get more understanding about the Bible. Far too long, even myself, before I came into the truth, I would read certain stories in the Bible, but I really never understood it. You know, like how it was taught to me. Hey, God loves everybody. God created everybody. That's it. Pray, love God. But they never actually taught us who we were in the Bible. And that's what the truth is all about. God created all the races in the Bible, so they're all in the Bible. But which one are you in the Bible? You know, that's the thing. So like I said, we'll wait a few minutes to while brothers and sisters have questions. Don't be ashamed or shy to ask questions. That's what this live is for. And so even with brothers in the battle axes, making sure brothers get their spirit lined up, get ready for Sabbath class. Captain Jerubbaal gonna bring out a great class tomorrow. Then getting ready for camp. But remember that, guess what? The Most High God's judgments, hey, they're steady coming out, man. They're steady coming out. And so we can't be ignorant of those things. Give me a moment. Make sure brothers and sisters are watching. We have classes every day. Classes Sunday, classes Monday, got classes on Tuesday, got classes on Wednesday. Now we even having classes on Thursday, Friday, and obviously the Sabbath day. So making sure brothers and sisters are tuning in, man, to these classes to help build up your spirit. Let me see. Let me get that real quick. Let's go to the book of Second Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 10. That's what I wanted to. Book of Second Corinthians. Sometimes precepts even slip our minds at times. So the book of Second Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 10. And it reads, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that everyone may receive the things done in his body," meaning what? The works that you have done. Whether it be brothers that have been putting in their brick for years in righteousness, or whether it's brothers and sisters been putting their brick in wickedness for years. Most High God is going to give you their judgment, man. It says that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he had done, whether it be good or whether it be bad. So this is something that should ignite fear in brothers and sisters, man. And we say we got to cast off Christianity, cast off Islam, cast off Buddhism, cast off Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah wickedness, TD snakes, cast off all those things, man, because none of those things have nothing to do with the Bible. It says, verse 11, "Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men." So you knowing the terror of the Most High God, meaning how he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, meaning how he flooded the earth during Noah's time, meaning how what? He constantly brought judgment on King David, how he brought judgment on King Solomon, how he brought judgment on King Manasseh, going through our people's history and seeing the judgment that he continued to bring on our people for doing what? Breaking the commandments, bringing judgment on us by the form of slavery on slave ships in the book of Deuteronomy, all the curses, that's judgment. And that's for us breaking the commandments. It's verse 11, "Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men." And it's supposed to persuade men and women into doing what? Keeping the commandments. It says, "But we are made manifest unto God, and I trust also are made manifest in your conscience." So the things that brothers bring out, whether it be from any number of camps, IURC, WFI, Sons of Thunder, Sakari, ISUPK, whether these things are being brought out in any other camp that I missed, the things and the classes that they teach, making sure that guess what? You meditate on these things in your conscience and let it resonate in your spirit. As long as brothers is coming out of the scriptures, and that's the main thing, man. Because we all, like we said, we all gonna have to appear before that. Let's see. Like we said, we're gonna have to give an account to the Most High God. Let's see. All praises. All praises. We have happy that you'll be celebrating it too. Yeah, that's one of the main things, being sincere in this walk, man. And I'm glad that I brought it out because we did the class a few weeks ago. You don't want to get sifted out by God's judgment. You know, God's judgments can come in many forms. He can put a reprobate mind on you. You know, he can have you just totally reject this truth once that you were in it, you know, because you're despising the commandments, that you're despising correction. So we want to make sure that we don't get sifted out because, like we said, are always around, well, it's constantly sifting season, but mainly around tabernacles and around Passover. That's when the Most High God really be bringing out them judgment. And for brothers and sisters that have been around for a number of years, y'all damn sure should know these things by now, man. Like I said, if there's no other questions, man, I'm gonna get out of here. Make sure brothers and sisters are preparing for that, man. But we always tell brothers and sisters to keep the law, statutes, commandments, so we always bring out a law. At the end, we'll go back to the law we brought out earlier. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16 and verse 18. We're going to read on down. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 16 and verse 18. Judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee. So it's a commandment for us to set up leaders over the congregation. This is a commandment to set the order. Like we said, and these things are temporary, you know, but some order must be established amongst the congregation. Even in Christianity, they have some form of order, you know, some form. You know, it may not be all the way 100% correct according to the Bible, but it's some form where you have the bishop, and you have the deacons, you have brothers on the deacon board, and you even have the sisters with the usher board and so forth. You know, it's some type of order. It says, judges and officers shalt thou make thee in all thy gates, which the Lord thy God giveth thee throughout thy tribes, and they shall judge the people with just judgment. Just judgment is going into bringing out the law, statutes, and commandments. When a situation come up, you go into the law to resolve the matter. Verse 19, thou shalt not rest judgment. Meaning what? It's no time off when it comes to judgment. You know, a situation come up in a particular congregation, hey, correction need to be brought out. Nah, we'll deal with it next month. No, if you have that opportunity, guess what? You deal with those things now. You know, and we know a lot of times, hey, brothers can be flooded with problems, but hey, you got to hit those problems head on, man. It says, thou shalt not rest judgment. Thou shalt not respect persons. Meaning what? If it's a person that's higher up in the congregation, if they're out of order, it's our job to bring the correction. Whether they're known in the congregation or whether they're not. You know, Sister Betty gonna get the same judgment as Sister Jenkins. You know, even though Sister Betty has been there longer. I mean, it don't matter. It says, thou shalt not respect persons, neither take a gift. Because, you know, we got some brothers and sisters, they'll give you things just so you don't correct them. Whether it be shirts, whether it be meat trees, or whether it be anything that they love to give brothers and sisters up in there just to be excused from correction. And we see it a lot of times, even up in Christianity. You see those things, man. How many times they constantly giving the pastor gifts, flooding him with money and arms and so forth, which is supposed to be for the churches, just so he don't call out their sins, even though he's not calling them out anyway, or to have him doing much wickedness. It says, neither take a gift, for a gift doth blind the eyes of the wise. So we see that a lot of times when brothers and sisters are giving you things, they want something in exchange for that. Most High God is telling us we cannot do that. If brother is wrong, and you got to bring the correction to him, whether it be a number of months suspended or whatever the punishment may be. It says, and pervert the words of the righteous, because that's where perversion come in, where, like we said, you trying to buy your way out of a particular situation. We're not to do that. Verse 20, that which is altogether just shalt thou follow, that thou mayest live and inherit the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. So these are very important. The Most High God has given us these commandments so we can first live by, and secondly, that we may inherit the land. Because like we say, man, I'm getting tired of this captivity. I'm ready to go home, man. I don't know how brothers and sisters feel, but I'm getting tired, especially with everything that's going on. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of doing all these things, man. I'm ready to go back home, to Jerusalem, man. So if any brothers and sisters don't have any other questions, let's say we're going to get up out of here. They say shalom, brothers and sisters, man. Happy Sabbath. Giving all honor and praises to Yahweh and to his son Yahushua. This brother Benaniyah with the Battle Axes. Tuning out, man. Shalom, brothers and sisters.